not bored with my job, and I'm not looking for upward mobility. I happen to think being borough president of this borough is a terrific job. If I decide to run for mayor, it will be because I feel that something has to be done to get the city back on track, and I can make a difference in making that happen.
At what point will the city be able to comply with the courts, comply with regulations, and move homeless families in?
The court order is unrealistic. It has been all through the Dinkins administration.
Although it is the law.
But it's unrealistic. The law can
be unrealistic. A criminal who commits a crime and says, well, that law is unrealistic.
Yeah, but these are not, that's a very unfair thing to say. These are not criminal laws. These are like the things that judges do who run prisons and say that we had a judge tell us that we had to spend $450 million to build a facility so that the food would be warmer on Rikers Island. That was the law, but it was wrong. And we went back to court and we got it changed. So every pronouncement of a judge, although you do the best that you can to follow it, every pronouncement of a judge is not the law in the sense that it's a criminal act if you can't comply with it.
Will New Yorkers relate to this kind of maverick approach to a mayoral candidate?
Might be. I mean, nobody has any ideas about what Mr. Bloomberg's point of view is, because he hasn't said anything other than that he wants to run for mayor, but he has not told anyone what his philosophy is, what his point of view is on education, on crime, or anything else.
It would be amazed how much you can bring people together if you just take the time to talk to people. I made a policy from the day that I got elected county leader that if anyone called my office within 24 hours, I would return the call and meet with them. I attempted to find out exactly what was it that was important to each one of the different elements.
What do people need to do, elected officials or others need to do to get your support?
The same thing that they have always done. That is, come and have a conversation with me. Tell me what it is you're looking for. And I might at a given moment ask you, well, why should I support you? I challenge anyone, even those who have differences with me, to state with me, where have they ever had a difference with me that I never listened?
I believe that the county leader last year really blew up the unity in the Bronx Democratic Party by trying to oust an incumbent congressman who was obviously very popular in his district, and he also opposed the nomination of another candidate for state senate who was the first person to step forward in years to run against Guy Villela.
See, one of my opponents keeps making this distinction. This is a Democratic district and we ought to have a Democrat. And I really reject that idea that you lead people and you represent people by dividing them by names and calling each other who's a Republican, who's a Democrat.
Investigators from the Manhattan District Attorney with search warrants went to his law firm, took certain records. Villela, who was in Albany at the time, told his staff to cooperate fully. What the records involved, I do not know, and it's Vilella's privilege not to say.
There is something wholly wrong about these people that want to control voting and the political process as though it's a franchise that they own.
A former Senator Espada is undoubtedly going to claim that this is a political hit. The investigation into his finances, which apparently has been done over a period of 2 years, was an extensive investigation purely designed to keep him out of office. And what's your response to that?
It's not so. I mean, I spent, I guess it's 23 years now building up a reputation in the legal community, and I would not give that up for an indictment for Pedro Espada.
One investigation revealed that there were 9 people registered to vote from your apartment, and then your denial of that raised the interest of the Bronx DA on potential perjury charges because they said some of the 9 were people that you had to know. They were yours and your girlfriend's relatives. Explain to me what that situation
definitely. I mean, and this is something that happened last year because of my opposition at the time, you know, raised those issues. I actually brought it up to court. I mean, to the Board of Elections. We actually beat the case at the Board of Elections. They appealed the case. We actually also beat the appeal. And, you know, the last thing they did took it to the Bronx DA. I mean, it was something that I understand that the Bronx DA has an obligation to investigate if something is raised, you know, in that matter. But again, this is all allegations, you know, and it was never a fact, and it was never proven.
An elected official, an incumbent, is asking for considerable support from the county, and then it becomes embarrassing because you support somebody like Efrain Gonzalez or Pedro Espada, and then it's unveiled that they've done some of the worst things in elected officials.
But like I said, Gary, but there's been instances where people have been accused of things and it hasn't been true. So what I'm saying is it's not elected officials' jobs to be the police and the investigators and the district attorney of other elected officials.
I am disappointed in the actions of Senator Klein. I do not believe that they make us stronger as Democrats. I believe that we need to deal with our issues inside the family, and that if that's the best way to deal with them, as opposed to going off and doing something separate. Disappointed in his actions, and you know, I obviously think that we need to be stronger as Democrats, and we should do that together.
Are there things you disagree on? I mean, fathers and sons in general have things they don't agree on.
No,
and I can't believe political.
He has been in Albany for 7 years, and he knows the ins and outs of Albany. When I got to Albany, I got only 6 months. I got there in January. He was instrumental in letting me know where the hotel.
My primary focus will be job creation. We have a great opportunity to seriously look at the Kingsbridge Armory, which is an eyesore, which is in the city's hands. We also have the Harlem River waterfront, which presents a real opportunity for open space and for development and for jobs.
As I went around the borough, Gary, over the last couple of months and even the last year and a half testing the waters, I see that everyone, whether you're from Riverdale, from Throgs Neck, Wakefield, Soundview, Port Morris, people want a cleaner borough, people want a safer borough, people want a better opportunity and educational system for their children, and folks want a responsive government with integrity and partnerships, and that's what I want to do as I move forward.
How do you feel? Do you feel nostalgic? You feel sad? You wish you had more time? Do you, you know, how do you personally feel?
First of all, I feel fine. I would love to have been elected the city's 108th mayor, but I've had the great gift of being the mayor of my hometown, being the borough president of the Bronx for nearly 15 years, and it has been a tremendous honor. Look, kid who grew up where I grew up with nothing, to be this borough's chief executive for as long as I had, to enjoy the confidence of its people trusting me with their neighborhoods. There is no greater gift.